Something I've been thinking about, which will sound harsh, and I'm sorry. You said you've always been my friend, but you're not. Actually, are you? I've only just realized that recently. You don't have any interest in my life. This is gonna be something bitter, but I don't mean it that way, V. I'm just stating a fact here. You only ever call me if I call you first. Have you noticed that? If I call and leave a message, you'll call me back, but you will never call me first. And I think that's a kind of horrible thing when you're supposed to be someone's friend. So that excerpt is from Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. And I just read this past week, and man, this was an adventure. So this has been raved about on BookTube all of 2014. So I thought I might as well read it and figure it out. And I'm like, I feel like I'm blind, so putting my glasses back on. And yeah, so this is a post-apocalyptic world in which a flu has wiped out like 99.9% of the population US in the world. You kind of just assume that everyone is dead and you're like, what? Crazy. But going in, I had no idea how this book was set up. And basically it's different perspectives that are all kind of interconnected and they jump back and forth. And it's at first I was kind of lost. I was like, what? Who? Okay, because the characters that you meet, there's Arthur, and he's like this famous, excuse me, this famous like Shakespeare. He was in Shakespeare, and he like dies, and you kind of learn people that knew him, and he was doing the production of King Lear, and there were these three little girls, and one of the actresses has like her own storyline in this, and she has these comics that are called Station 11, so that's where the name comes from, and you learn more about that as you read. And you're kind of like just taken on this journey with these characters, and it's so interesting because it kind of reminded me of the show Revolution, which is I've said is on every social media, because Revolution was like the lights went out, and it's like everyone dealing with what happened afterward. And this, it's like everyone died, and there's like just you have to raid and freaking fend for yourself, figure out how to live, and everyone, people made their like towns with their guards and just set up security. Like you just kind of figured it out. At first it was like the shock, and you got to see that through different perspectives, which was brilliantly done. And I'm like I like this book. It was really good, by the way. If I hadn't said that, it was super intriguing how they went about like setting this up. Like the Emily A+ for the setup, because that like when you find out how the characters are interconnected, you're like, but and it's kind of like you are taking along this journey with the Shakespearean traveling symphony, and they go from town to town, and they just perform Shakespeare because they love that's their life. They love performing, so they're not gonna stop, and they're kind of known for it. Especially it's like year 15 now, 15 years after the flu, and people are still very much fending for themselves, trying to just live life, just continuing on. And the girl that was in the King Lear, when the famous guy died, she's like in this Shakespearean traveling thing, and we kind of like a lot of the stories through her eyes, and it's so interesting because she doesn't remember exactly the collapse, and there's characters that do. So you see the contrast of them like reminiscing on everything that they've left behind. Like you kind of like through the story you begin to appreciate that you have a phone and you have Wi-Fi and lights, because everything just kind of collapses and you're just like what everything is done, and it's kind of like this Georgia flu is what I believe was called. Let's see here. Yes, Georgian flu or Georgia flu, and it just wipes. It's like literally you get it, you're dead. It was super scary, and I'm like, no. So, yeah, I think it's a must read because I get the hype, I understand it, and yes. So this has been my review, my thoughts, and this is also by a Canadian author. So look at me go. Banana, dana. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Let me know your thoughts if you read it, and if you want to read it, or anything that's post-apocalyptic like this that deals with a flu or something, let me know. Recommendations, I'm all about them lately. Alright, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.